Hello dear students, in this video we will see some assertion reason based MCQs from chapter 1 numbers quantification and numerical applications. So these are the instruction for assertion reason based questions. For the following questions, two statements are given, one labeled assertion A and the other labeled reason R. Select the correct answer to these questions from the codes 1, 2, 3 and 4 as given below. So we have to choose the first code when both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of the assertion. Then the second code is both A and R are true but R is not the correct explanation of the assertion. Then the third is A is true but R is false. And the fourth is A is false but R is true. So these are the codes that we have to remember in assertion reason questions. So the first question, the assertion is 186 into 93 mod 7. It is equal to 1. The reason they have given is A into B mod n equal to A mod n into B mod n mod n. So here we can see that the reason is true. We have to check whether the assertion is true or not. So here we have 186 into 93 mod 7. So this is equal to 186 mod 7 into 93 mod 7 mod 7. So when we divide 186 by 7, we get the quotient as 26 and remainder as 4. Then when we divide 93 by 7, to find the remainder, we get the remainder as 2. So here 186 mod 7, it is 4 and 93 mod 7 is 2. So this is 4 into 2 mod 7 or it is 8 mod 7. When we divide 8 by 7, we get the remainder as 1. So this 186 into 93 mod 7, this is equal to 1. So the assertion is true and the reason is also true, and reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. So the correct option is the code 1. So here the correct option is option A. Moving on to the next question. It is currently 8 a.m. It will be 4 a.m. in next 500 hours. So this is the assertion. So assertion is a statement which is either true or false. And next we have the reason. We know that the time repeats after every 24 hours. So 500 mod 24 equal to 20. Therefore 500 hours is equivalent to 20 hours and 8 plus 20 congruent to 4 mod 24. So here we can see that the reason is true. We have to check whether it will be 4 a.m. after 500 hours from 8 a.m. So for that, first we have to find 500 mod 24. So 500 mod 24, when we divide 500 by 24, we get the remainder as 20. So 500 mod 24, it is 20. So here 500 mod 24 is 20. So if we want to find the time after certain 100 hours or certain 1000 hours, we usually do it by finding the mod of 24. So here we get the remainder as 20. Now we can see that 500 hours is equivalent to 20 years. So that is what is given in the reason as well. Now it is 8 a.m. So 20 hours after 8 a.m. will be 20 hours after 8 a.m. It will be 28 mod 24. Here, since we have the clock in the 24 hours format, again we can find 28 mod 24. When we divide 28 by 24, the remainder is 4. So 20 hours after 8 a.m. it will be 4 a.m. So the reason is true and the assertion is true and the reason is also true, and reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. So here both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of the assertion. So we have option A. Next we have the next question. Assertion is when 14 is divided by 5, then the remainder is 4. So we write 14 mod 5 equal to 4. So when 14 is divided by 5, the remainder is 4. When we divide 14 by 5, we get the remainder as 4. So we can write 14 mod 5 as 4. So the assertion is true. Next we have the reason. It is given 37 congruent to 12 mod 5. So we know that if A is congruent to B mod M, then A minus B is divisible by M. So here if 37 congruent to 12 mod 5, then 37 minus 12 equal to 25. It is divisible by 5, or it is an integral multiple of 5, so it is divisible by 5. So this is also true. But here we can see that this reason, it is not the correct explanation of this assertion. So here both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of the assertion. So the correct option is option B, which is the second one. And next we have the next question. The last two digits of the product 2345 into 6789 are 0 and 5. So this we have to check. The reason they have given is to find the last two digits of the product 2345 into 6789, we find 2345 into 6789 mod 100. So this is true. Reason is true. If we want to find the last two digits, then we find mod of 100. So let us check whether the assertion is true. Reason is true. We can see from here. So 2345 into 6789 mod 100, it is equal to 2345 mod 100 into 6789 mod 100. So here when we divide 2345 by 100, we will get the last two digits. So this is 45. So if we divide 2345 by 100, then 2300s are 2300. So we will get the remainder as 45, which is the last two digits of this number. And here 6789 mod 100 is again the last two digits of this number. So this is 45 into 89 mod 100. Now if we multiply 45 and 89, and we have to find the last two digits and check whether it is 0 and 5. So here it is 4005. So 45 into 89 is 4005 mod 100. So when we divide 4005 by 100, we will get the last two digits as remainder, which is nothing but 0, 5. So here the assertion is also true. So here we can see that both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of the assertion. So the correct option is option A. Moving on to the next question. Assertion: when 783 into 657 into 594 into 432 into 346 into 251 is divided by 5, then the remainder is 3. To find the remainder, we find the product of all these congruent to 3 mod 5. So here we have to check both the assertion and the reason. So here 783 into 657 into all these, when it is divided by 5, we have to find the mod of 5. So 783 mod 5, it is 783 mod 5 is 3. Then 657 mod 5, that is when we divide 657 by 5, here we can see that 655 is divisible by 5. So the remainder will be 657 minus 655, which is 2. So this is 2. Then 594 mod 5, it is 4. Then 432 mod 5, it is 2. Then 346 mod 5, it is 1. And 251 mod 5, it is again 1. Now we know that in all multiples of 5, the ones place will be of 5 or 0. So here if we have 783, then 780 will be divisible by 5. So the remainder will be 3 in this case. If we take 657, 655 will be divisible by 5. So 657 minus 655 will be 2. So 657 mod 5 is 2. So like that it goes on. So the product of all these, when it is divided by 5, we can find it as 3 into 2 into 4 into 2 into 1 into 1 mod 5. So this is 48 mod 5, which is 3. So the assertion is true. The remainder is 3. And here to find the remainder, we have to find the product of all these congruent to 3 mod 5. The reason is also true. And the reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. So the correct option is the first option, which is A. Moving on to the next question. Assertion is 3 raised to 16 mod 4 congruent to 1, or it is equal to 1. 3 raised to 16 mod 4 equal to 1. Reason is if A congruent to B mod n, then A raised to K congruent to B raised to K mod n, for all K belongs to n. So the reason is true. This property we have studied. Now let us check whether the assertion is true or not. If we take 3 raised to 16, first let us see 3 square. 3 square is 9. When we divide 9 by 4, we get the remainder as 1. So 9 congruent to 1 mod 4. 9 is nothing but 3 square. So 3 square the whole raised to 8. It is congruent to 1 raised to 8 mod 4. 3 square the whole raised to 8 is 3 raised to 16. This is congruent to 1 mod 4. Or from this we get 3 raised to 16 mod 4. It is equal to 1. That is when we divide 3 raised to 16 by 4, we will get the remainder as 1. So the assertion is true. The reason is true. And R is the correct explanation of this assertion. So the correct option is option A. Next question. The last 3 digits of the product 1, 2, 3, 4 into 5, 6, 7, 8 are 6, 5 and 2 respectively. The reason is to find the last 2 digits of the product, we find 1, 2, 3, 4 into 5, 6, 7, 8 mod 1000. So here we can see that the reason is true. If we want to find the last 3 digits, then we have to find the number mod 1000. So if you want to find the last 1 digit, we find mod 10. If you want to find last 2 digits, we find mod 100. If you want to find last 3 digits, we find mod 1000. So the reason is true. Now let us see whether the assertion is true or not. So 1, 2, 3, 4 mod 1000 into 5, 6, 7, 8 mod 1000 mod 1000. This is what we have to find and check whether it is 652. So this is 234. That is when we divide 1234 by 1000, we will get the remainder as 234. And when we divide 5678 by 1000, we get the remainder as 678 mod 1000. So here let us multiply these two and see what we get as the last 3 digits. So all these it will add up to 2, 5. Okay. So here we can see that the last 2 digits, the last 3 digits, it is 6, 5, 2. So 234 into 678 mod 1000 is 652. So here the last three digits of this product is 6, 5 and 2 respectively. So the assertion is also true. So here we can see that both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of the assertion. So the correct option is the first one. Moving on. Assertion is 4 minus 9 into 7 mod 4 is 1. Reason 4 minus 9 into 5 mod 4 is minus 1. So here we can see that the reason it is not a correct explanation of the assertion. So let us check whether these two are true or not. First let us check the assertion. Here 4 minus 9 is minus 5. Minus 5 into 7 mod 4. It is minus 35 mod 4. So when we divide minus 35 by 4, we will get the remainder as 1. So the assertion is true. And next let us check the reason. Reason is not true because the remainder is never negative. So the reason is false. So here we can see that A is true but R is false. So the correct option is option C. Next we have the next question. It is on allegation. Water is mixed with milk in the ratio 1:6 to gain 16 2/3% on selling the mixture at cost price. So this is the assertion. We have to check whether this assertion is true or false by using the rule of allegation. For reason they have given rule of allegation as here we have the cost price of cheaper ingredient and here the dearer ingredient, here the mean price. So using this cross, here we have D minus M, it is correct. Here it is C minus M. This is wrong. Here we are supposed to have M minus C. So here the reason is not true. So here R is false. We have to check whether A is true or not. So since water is mixed with milk in this ratio to gain 16 2/3% on selling the mixture at cost price. So here we have to check whether the ratio of water is to milk is 1:6 or not. So let us assume, let the cost price of milk be rupees 100. So the selling price of the mixture, it is also equal to 100. So here it is given the mixture is sold at the cost price. So selling price of the mixture is also rupees 100. So we need to find the cost price of the mixture. Now we know that selling price equal to cost price into 1 plus gain percentage. So here gain percentage is 16 2/3% or it is 50/3%. If we divide by 100, then we will get it in terms of a real number. So it is 1/6. So using this relation, 100 equal to Cp into 1 plus 1/6 or it is Cp into 7/6. So from this we get Cp equal to 600/7. So using this rule, here we have the cheaper ingredient which is water, the cost is 0, and here we have the dearer ingredient which is milk and the cost is rupees 100. The mean price is 600/7. So here we have D minus M. It is 100 minus 600/7. Which is 700 minus 600, 100/7. So this is 100/7. And here we have 600/7 minus 0, which is 600/7. Therefore, water is to milk, it is 100/7 is to 600/7 or it is 1:6. So assertion is true. So we have A is true and R is false. So the correct option is option C. Moving on to the next question. In a 1000-meter race, A can beat B by 100 meter. In a race of 400 meter, B can beat C by 40 meter. In a 500-meter race, A beats C by 95 meters. So this is the assertion. So we have to check whether in a 500-meter race, whether A can beat C by 95 meter or not. This is what we have to check based on this information. The reason is given. A beat C by x meters means C is behind A by x meters when A reached off the finishing point. So the reason is true. So here the reason is true. We have to check whether the assertion is true or not. So here in the same time we have the ratio of their speeds A is to B. In a 1000-meter race, A can beat B by 100 meter means when A runs 1000 meters, B runs 1000 minus 100, 900 meters. So A is to B is 1000 is to 900. And next we have in a race of 400 meter, B can beat C by 40 meters. So B is to C, the speed of B is to C is 400 is to, when B runs 400 meters, C runs 400 minus 40, 360 meters. 360 meters. So we have to find A is to B is to C. So this is nothing but 400 by 360. So it is 100 is to 90. Now for finding A is to B is to C, here let us multiply and divide by 9. So A is to B is to C will be 1000 is to 900 is to 810. So here it is 900 is to 810. For finding A is to B is to C, we need to have the proportion for B as common in A is to B and B is to C. So in A is to B it is 900 and we made in B is to C also as 900. So A is to B is to C will be 1000 is to 900 is to 810. So A is to C, it is 1000 is to 810. So when A runs 1000 meters, C runs 810 meters. Now we are required to know in a 500 meter race whether A beats C by 95 meters or not. So this implies A is to C is, let us multiply and divide by 2. So A is to C will be 500 is to 405. So here we had A by C as 1000 by 810. So this is nothing but when we divide by 2, 500 by 405. So we get A is to C has 500 is to 405. That is when A runs 500 meters, C runs 405 meters. So from this we get A beats C by 500 minus 405 equal to 95 meters. So the assertion is true. So here we can see that both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of the assertion. So the correct option is option A. So first we have to check whether the assertion is true or false, and then we have to check whether R is correct explanation of the assertion. Moving on to the next question. If the boat takes 12 hours to row 48 km upstream and 8 hours to row the same distance downstream, then the boat speed in still water is 5 km per hour and speed of river is 1 km per hour. The reason is, let speed of boat and speed of river be x and y km per hour respectively, then downstream speed is x plus y, upstream speed is x minus y, and also speed is equal to distance covered by time taken. So here we can see that the reason is true. The reason is true. We have to check whether the assertion is true or not. Here it is given, boat takes 12 hours to row 48 km upstream. So here upstream speed Upstream speed, it is nothing but x minus y. So upstream speed is equal to the distance covered upstream upon time taken upstream. So it is 48 by 12, which is 4. Then the downstream speed is nothing but it is x plus y. It is the distance covered downstream upon time taken downstream. Time taken downstream is 8. So this is 6. So the upstream speed is 6 km per hour. Upstream speed is 4 km per hour and downstream speed is 6 km per hour. Now we know that when the upstream speed and downstream speed are there, when we solve these two equations, we can find x and y. So if we add these two, we will get 2x is equal to 10 or x is equal to 5 km per hour. And when we subtract these two, x plus y minus of x minus y. So we get 2y equal to 6 minus 4, which is 2. So y equal to 1 km per hour. So the assertion is true. So here we can see that both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of the assertion, which is the first one. So here the correct option is option A. Next we have the next question. The assertion is let x and b are real numbers if b greater than 0 and mod x greater than b. Then x belongs to open interval minus infinity comma minus b union b comma infinity. So this is the assertion. And next we have the reason. Let x and b are real numbers if b greater than 0 and mod x greater than b. Then x belongs to closed interval minus infinity comma minus b union closed b comma infinity. So here we can see that the reason is itself false. So the only option available is option 3. But still let us see about assertion. So here if mod x is, if it is greater than b, then we have x greater than or equal to b or x greater than b or x less than minus b. So x greater than b is nothing but x belongs to b comma infinity open interval, and when x is less than b, then x belongs to minus infinity comma minus b. So from this we get x belongs to minus infinity comma minus b union b comma infinity. So here the assertion is true. So the correct option is option 3. Here we have it as option C. So the correct option is option C. So this is how we have to go about in case of assertion reason type questions. I hope this video was useful for you. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.